Well, my 13-year-old son didn't shut my tailgate very good, and I was pulling a trailer. It's pretty clear to me that either some of y'all have zero experience raising boys, or you're just no good at it. You see, I like teaching my boys independence, how to be a man, how not to have to depend on somebody else to double check what you do all the time. I teach my boys how to do things. I teach my boys how to do everyday things in life. Sometimes they get it wrong. Now, that doesn't always mean they have to be disciplined. Sometimes it's just part of learning. But sometimes it requires discipline. And they have to learn that mistakes have consequences sometimes. For context, here's his little brother. Got to start him early. Now, that little boy, he is not bush hogging. Okay, the bush hog just happens to be behind the tractor. But I'm standing here supervising him today because one day I'm not going to need to. I'm going to teach him how to drive that tractor. And eventually, he's going to be able to drive that tractor without me having to show him how to work the gears and how to work the hydraulic lever, the lift arm. But what does it tell him if every time he does it, I come behind him and check it? See, I believe that lets him know that I don't trust him. But when I make him face consequences because of his mistakes, that lets him know that I did trust him. And he violated that trust because he did not follow through with his responsibilities properly. Here's that same 13-year-old kid that I talked about with the tailgate. Here he is shooting his rifle. Now, if I'm always holding that kid's hand, and I'm always double checking him to make sure he's doing even the simplest of tasks right, how can I trust him to handle that rifle without me? How can I trust him to load it, chamber it, and fire it in a safe direction unless I'm always there with him? See, we're not just talking about firearms and tractors, okay? We're talking about how to raise boys into men, how to teach them how to be independent, to teach them that actions have consequences and mistakes have consequences. Sometimes those consequences come from the parent, but later in life, those consequences are going to come from real life consequences. So don't come at me about how to raise my boys. I know how to raise my boys. And my boys are going to be independent men. They're going to be good men. They're going to be twice as good of a man as I am. And I'm going to make sure of it, in spite of some of y'all.